Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your entrepreneurship and project management tutor, Professor Henry Buis of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Now, in this video, I'm introducing you to project management. That is, therefore, it's meant for students of project management. I'll be carrying out a series of lectures to cover a few topics in project management. This being the first one, I'm introducing project management. Watch out. Welcome to my YouTube channel. As I said, this is a lecture on project management. Look at those pictures. Look at this. Does it look like a project? Look at this. This is road construction, Nairobi, Kenya. This is my university, the gate. Do they look like projects to you? Okay, stay tuned. Let's define what a project is. See any activities going on here? You think there's a project? Okay, let's go. There is an academic definition, actually not one, a number of academic definitions of project management or project. So, one academic definition. A project is a unique process consisting of a set of coordinated and controlled activities with start and finish dates, undertaken to achieve an objective conforming to specific requirements, including constraints of time, cost, quality, and resources. A project is a planned set of activities. A project has a scope. A project has time, cost, quality, and resource constraints. Other academic definitions. A project is an endeavor in which human or machine material and financial resources are organized in a novel way to undertake a unique scope of work of given specification within constraints of cost and time, so as to deliver beneficial change. The change that will be defined by quantitative and qualitative measures. That is J.R. Turner in 1992. But well, is there an ordinary definition, another way of looking at project? Yes. Yes. A project is a problem scheduled for solution. Simple. There is a problem, you want to solve it. That process of solving that problem is a project. This definition forces us to recognize that projects are aimed at solving problems and that failure to define the problem properly is what sometimes gets us into trouble. You find that some projects are not well finished. Probably it's because the problem that you are solving was not well defined. But then what's a problem? Yes. Well, a desired objective is not a problem by itself. You want to get something, that's okay, but not necessarily a problem. The key to a problem is that there is an obstacle that prevents you from closing the gap. A problem is a gap. Achieving your objective between where you are and where you want to be, with an obstacle that prevents easy movement to close the gap. Yes, we want housing. There is need for housing. It's a problem. Then we embark on constructing and building those houses. It's a project. So problem solving consists of finding ways of overcoming or getting around obstacles. So what are some examples of projects? But first, generally, projects are formed to solve a problem or take advantage of an opportunity. Business as usual activities can often be mistaken for a project. Generally, it is the uniqueness of the activity that is the deciding factor. Do we do this every year? If so, then it is not truly a project, although you can use project methods to get it done. For example, if you are employed and you are every day going to work, that is routine work, earning a salary. That's not a project. If every season you are doing work on your farm, planting maize, harvesting them, that's not a project. But you build a house, start, build, finish it, and you live in it after its completion, that's a project. Now let's see. The degree that you are pursuing is a project. You start, you end, and do not do it again. You're not doing it routinely every day. You take up to mow your lawn. It's not that every day you're mowing it. When it is due to mow, then you set up those activities, you mow it, it's gone. A wedding is a project. Yes, you plan for a wedding, and once you walk down the alley and say, yes, I do, that wedding is gone, married life starts. So the wedding is a project. Married life is not necessarily a project. Your graduation ceremony is a project. Building a new house is a project. Now, we've seen what project is. How about management? I am sure you know that the general functions of management, definition of management, consists of planning, organizing, controlling, and leading. Again, there is an academic definition or academic definitions, of management. Like one, management is a technique for enabling workflow in an integrated and coordinated manner for realizing the precise objectives through the productive use of public resources. Management helps achieve organizational goals effectively and efficiently through planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling organizational resources. Whew, that looks very academic. Can we have an ordinary, simple way of looking at management? This man is managing. Is he managing, grazing his, goats? Management is a dynamic process of getting things done by others with the aim of achieving common goals effectively and efficiently. So, we are therefore saying that management is getting results, achieving objectives through others. And that's why sometimes it's called a team, to achieve a goal, work a team. So management is simply leading others to achieve goals. Now that we know project and we know management, what then is project management? It began now the art of organizing, could also be the science, or art of organizing, leading, reporting, and completing a project through people, through teams. In other words, it is the process of leading the work of a team to achieve all project goals within the given constraints. Who uses project management? Nearly everyone. You, me, and others. To some degree, of course. People plan their days, their weeks, their vacations, and their budgets, and keep a simple project management form known as to-do list. Any process or means used to track tasks or efforts towards accomplishing a goal could be considered project management. But why is project management used? It is necessary to track or measure the progress that we have achieved towards a goal that we wish to accomplish. So we're saying that project management itself has got mechanisms which we shall see, like monitoring and evaluation, to keep tracking measures. Where are we started. So it is important to use project management. We use project management to aid us in maximizing and optimizing our resources to accomplish our goals. But then, why is project management important? Yes, project management is important because it ensures what is being delivered is right and will deliver real value against the business or any other opportunity. It enables us to map out a course of action or work plan. Project management helps us to think systematically and thoroughly. Yes, once you set a goal and you put activities that you are going to achieve, you systematically think about that and you plan moving forward. That is important. Now, every project has a life cycle, like a human life cycle. You see, fertilized egg, the fetus, the baby, the child, the teenager, adult, old age, and rest in peace. In other words, human life, somebody is born, somebody goes through stages, and somebody dies. And that is exactly how projects also do. Projects are born, initiation, start the project, the idea, then you plan. From idea it grows into planning, organizing, and preparation. Then you execute, carry out the work, and you close. This is just an outline of the stages of a project cycle. These are probably the minimum. You go into detail, you can have 5, 6, even 7 stages. But this being an introductory lecture, we only wanted to show the concept of project life cycle. Now, every project has some planning tools. Yes, tools. What are they? One of them is the work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure, a project management tool that takes a step-by-step approach to complete large projects with several moving pieces. By breaking down the project into smaller components, a work breakdown structure can integrate scope, cost, and deliverables into a single tool. Yes, look at that. You want to construct a house. As you plan the construction, you break down the work that goes into the planning of the house. For example, the first level, we plan with the design, the procurement, the construction, the inspections, the turnover. But each one of them again can be broken down. Like permits, under design, drawings, in procurement is electrical procurement, plumbing, and so on and so forth. Construction, you do the interior, you do the exterior. Inspections, masonry, building finishes, turnover, walkthrough, closing. This is a planning tool that breaks down what the project is going to, the activities are going to take plays in a project, and therefore this guides you. You become systematic. So you can track the progress. See, have I finished the design? Checklist. Spam it there, drawing there, and so on and so forth. Like I said, this is an introductory lecture. We shall be talking about the work breakdown in deeper details in the coming lectures. Then stakeholders is another tool in project management. Project stakeholders are individuals, groups, or organizations who may be affected by, or perceive themselves to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project. In other words, when we start projects, there are people who will benefit, there are people who will be disgruntled, there are people who will be depended upon, and so on and so forth. You see, many people, organizations, some will be the primary stakeholders, those who are directly affected by the project. There will be the second one, those who are indirectly affected, and there will be the tertiary one, those who influence, who have some interest but not the direct or indirect. For example, if we're going to build a school, the primary stakeholders are the school, the children, and the parents. The teachers may be on the border, primary and secondary. The teachers are actually earning. On one hand, they are directly benefiting, but on the other hand, they are employees, so they are like on the border. And then the government or the financiers, those are the tertiary stakeholders. We shall be coming back to stakeholder analysis. This is but an introductory to it. So watch out in this space. We shall be covering that. There is another tool, problem tree. Problem tree or problem tree analysis is a graphical representation of an existing problem. Remember, we said projects address problems. So, a representation, graphical, of an existing problem, its causes and effects, and this gives path to project. Look at this as a tree. This tree, the root, there are root causes. There's a problem. Then there are consequences. In other words, there is a problem. This problem must have been brought about by some causes. And if this problem remains unsolved, it has some consequences. Look at this one. We're saying core problem. They are the primary causes. There could be a number of them. Then there are the secondary causes that cause those primary causes. And then if this problem persists, then there are the first effects, immediate effects. Then there are the medium effects, and there's probably even an ultimate effect. Let's say children drop out of school. That's a problem. Why? Is it lack of fees? Is it no interest in school? Is it diseases? Now, if it is lack of fees, what causes lack of fees? Is it poverty? So saying poverty can lead to lack of fees, which can lead to children dropping out. And if the children drop out, what will be the immediate effect? Idleness. They become idle, no work, and what will they do? They will involve themselves in vices. Like I said, we are introducing in the next lecture or the lecture to come, we shall do the real problem tree analysis as a tool of project management. Then there is a tool Gantt chart or critical path. A Gantt chart, as you can see, a Gantt chart is a chart in which a series of horizontal lines shows the amount of work done or production completed in certain periods of time in relation to amount planned for those periods. This Gantt chart, which you again revisit, gives us graphically showing how much work is done, during which period it was done, and so forth, and so on. Then there is also the critical path method. Critical path analysis, CPA, is a project management technique that requires mapping out every key task that is necessary to complete the project, and we have it shown here. In the lecture that will be covering CPA, we shall go into the details and explain the same. Then there is what we call log frame, logical framework. What is log frame? It's a tool for improving the planning, implementation, management, monitoring, and evaluation of projects. The log frame or the logical framework is a way of structuring the main elements in a project and highlighting the logical linkages between them. Yes, this is a log frame. It is the logical framework. So you will need our objectives, the goal, the immediate objective, the outputs, and all that. And we shall be putting the indicators. Let's say you want to build a house. At every stage, what will indicate that you have built it? So this is a very important tool of project management. And then there is what we call SWOT analysis, another tool project management, which is a framework of identifying and analyzing an organization's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For example, if you have a team on this project, you must see what strengths has this team that we can use for success. But if there are weaknesses of the team, how can we deal with these weaknesses so that we actually achieve our goals? But there are also opportunities out there and threats. How do we deal with them? Well, when we come to that lecture, we shall be opening up this tool to understand it deeper. And then every project faces some constraints, but there is the triple constraints that are highlighted, which is a model that describes the three most significant restrictions on any project: that the scope, the schedule, and the cost. And there we are, that the triple constraints. The work should be equilateral, so to speak. If you reduce time, then of course, imagine that you press this triangle, this apex, you press it down so that it comes down. Definitely, it will affect. In other words, you reduce the time of your objective, then probably it will have high cost because you are doing in short time, or the quality will be affected. If you want to reduce quality, then definitely time will be affected and the cost. If you have no funds or funds are less, then probably the time. So these are what we call the three constraints of project management. So what we've done is we have introduced project management. We have defined project. We have defined management. We have seen the academic and the ordinary definitions. And we have also looked at the key tools that are involved in project management. You know, the stakeholders, the Gantt chart, the log frame, the problem tree. So, in the next lectures, we shall now be breaking down the elements that we have covered today. If you liked this video, please share, like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. For updates on my other works, my other videos, and anything else, please click on the links below.